Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along to this afternoon's scrutiny meeting. First off, I'm just going to run through, because today is obviously a first for us to be back in the chamber. Well, croeso to the chamber. Welcome back to the chamber. I don't know how I'll feel about that after a couple of minutes with the new system, but we're going to try it out. So for those joining me online and in the chamber, bear with me a second. Just want to remind everybody that we are still in the pre-election period. That's important because we have a by-election towards the end of this month. So it is important that we continue to act within our committee's remit by remaining impartial and objective, and that our conduct, discussions and decisions are balanced, factual and appropriate to the pre-election restrictions. Okay. Some hybrid meeting protocol then. Any councillor, lay member or co-opter who is a member of this committee who is joining remotely must keep your camera on but remain muted. And then if you wish to speak, a slight change to today's proceedings for us to try out, okay? If you wish to speak, so David and Hannah, I can see that you're both online. If you wish to speak today, you'll actually put your mic on. And then that will indicate to me on my screen that you're waiting in a line of people, in case there are some members in the chamber ready to come into the conversation and speak. But just to be mindful, because if your home is anything like mine, with delivery men, visitors, etc., and two wonderful dogs, if my mic is on, you may hear them in the background, so just be mindful that if your mic is on, you're waiting to come in, there may be some slight chance we could hear you. I don't know, we'll test it out, because when I'm speaking you can't, you're sort of muted, but we'll test it out anyway. Colleagues in the chamber, well, we've had a little fun and a little run through, so again, indicate that you wish to speak by pressing on your mic. We'll have the same sort of traffic light system with the red, green, red, etc. And we'll go with flow. We'll just try it out. I'm looking over there, and then I've got our Karen over here as well, so we'll just go with the flow. Okay. If for any reason a member of the committee has cause to leave the meeting, remember you must indicate clearly to myself before leaving. And case law is clear, you're not allowed to vote if you've not heard the full debate. We haven't got actually any specific voting today. We've got some recommendations in the first report and obviously the minutes of the meeting. And then what we're doing is we're breaking from this chamber to go to committee room for a workshop. Okay, so the shoulders will relax, we'll have a bit of breathing space, but we will have tried this system out, which is a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to go formally into the meeting then for today. Hopefully that's okay. We'll give it a go anyway. But prynawn da pawb. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Council's Aspirational Scrutiny Committee here on Monday, the 8th of June. Now, I've had apologies from our Cabinet member, but it would be remiss of me not to welcome to the chamber today our new Director of Education, Ryan. Ryan is to my right, but he will be on screen at some point, I'm sure, and he is joining us when we do the workshop as well. But welcome to the committee. This is your first official one. You're welcome, diolch. Okay, so moving straight into the meeting then. As I said, we've also had apologies from Alona and Cabinet Member Gareth Lewis. Any other apologies? No? Okie doke. Okay, declarations of interest, item number 2. Any declarations of interest from anybody? I'll just have a quick scan and look online. I can't see that there are any indicated. In that case, we'll go straight to item number 3, and that is to agree and approve the accuracy of the minutes of the last meeting. Now, we held the last meeting on the 20th of April. You should have been able to see that on your agenda. So can I ask for somebody to move those minutes as an accurate record of the meeting? And bear with me. Okay, Councillor Scott Thomas.
Chair, happy to move the accuracy of the meeting, minutes of the meeting.
Thank you, Scott. Do I have a seconder? Oh, Councillor Michelle Jones.
Yeah, happy to second.
Okay, thank you both. Oh, know it well. Right, okay. The next item on the agenda is our action logs, outstanding actions from the previous meetings to be considered as we move into our next cycle. Just bear with me as I move down my screen, as I've forgotten to do that. So sincere apologies as I just run down. Bear with me. Okay, action logs, just as a reminder, we had some in our March meeting and they were completed. And then in our 20th of April meeting, they were all completed. So currently there aren't any outstanding, Jane, I believe. Okay, so then we'll move on to agenda item number 7. Apology. Hannah, do you wish to speak? Sorry, I've just realised. No, okay, don't worry. New system, new trial, that's absolutely fine. We'll move on to agenda item number 7 then. That is the forward work programme. And we are all joining today to agree the draft forward work programme and agree it for 2026-2027. As you know, as I've indicated numerous times as your chair, the forward work programme is a live document. So in front of us today, the summary of the report we have and the recommendations. Ryan, I'm just checking. You don't want to indicate at this point you're all okay. So the summary of the report is to provide scrutiny members with the proposed scrutiny forward work programme for consideration and to agree its work programme and to use it to prepare in advance of future scrutiny meetings, and to remind members that they need to consider the requirements of the Wellbeing and Future Generations Act in all aspects of scrutiny work. The recommendations for today are set out to 2.1. Scrutiny members agreed the 2 items set out in the draft scrutiny forward work programme. So you all should have had a copy of the forward work programme. We have had an opportunity to have a workshop and run through it. And as I indicated in our workshop, I know that our colleague Rob wanted to talk about some items that we were looking at, and we will see how that evolves as we work through the scrutiny programme, because as I said to you, it's a live document. It's something that, you know, if something comes to our attention, we may need to move around a future agenda or add an additional meeting, or as we've said before, and Karen, I remember you reminding me of this as well, you know, it would be a great opportunity to go and visit one of our new school builds and our new sites as well. So it's matters like that, with it being a live document, that we will include within our work programme. But as it stands at the moment, we've got today's meeting, which talks about the forward work plan. And as I said, we are having a workshop on the new education strategy. At our second meeting, which is on Monday, the 14th of September, we have suggested that we will look at school balances and the new draft education strategy. At our third meeting on Monday, the 30th of November, we have asked for a library's annual report and also to include the action plan progress. And we're going to look at a number of different service level agreements. And our colleague Rob, if you remember, reminded me at our last meeting that he wanted to make sure that the music SLA was included within that. So that matter may want further deliberation. And also, just as a reminder, sometimes we have public referrals as well, don't we need to consider as a matter of scrutiny. On Monday, the 11th of January, we then have our school safety and knife crimes in schools as a particular area that we wanted to focus on. And that is just because of the sad rise really in young people, children, being found with knives on them in schools, and specifically in some of our schools in Wales, which were very apparent in the media as well. So we just want to make sure that we have robust procedures in place to deal with that. And as you'll see there, there is a gap, and that gap is there for us to be able to include another agenda item. Monday, the 1st of March 2027, we will of course return, as we always do within our annual programme, to ALN, which is additional learning needs, and attendance as well, which is really important for us as a local authority. And then the very final page of our forward work plan indicates that obviously we're going to look at a new Welsh language strategy as and when that is provided to us. The team around the school workshop and school performance, A task and finish group for more able and talented pupils, our MAT pupils, to be agreed. Scrutiny visits for us to visit schools in category as a follow-up visit. Cyfarthfa High was one of those, and visits to Penedre High School, Goetre and BCA as part of the new school developments there as well for us as a committee. And last but not least, the library site visit as well, because that comes under our remit for scrutiny as well. Okay. Some additional items that we will discuss: schools' new performance monitoring system, a comprehensive report on all schools' performance, and EAL as well. And also, if you remember, we had a wonderful presentation from Merthyr Tydfil Borough-wide Youth Forum. They had worked with a number of schools, Afon Taf, Cyfarthfa High, etc., and had done these fantastic transition into schools, like year 6, year 7 transition. And Cyfarthfa High, if I'm right, did one on mental health support in school, etc. And we just found that they were a wonderful addition to the school process. Not only for young people to really understand what it's like to go from primary to high, but also for parents, carers and guardians alike as well. Give them a little bit of reassurance. So we did ask MT Boyd to consider maybe doing an attendance video, encouraging our young people, you know, why it's so important to attend school regularly. And we will also receive updates on the toileting workshop and the next feasibility update on a Welsh secondary school. Okay, and last but not least, there will be a joint GAC, as we call it, a joint scrutiny meeting on the draft budget, which will likely be 15th of February 2027. Okay, so on those matters and on that draft scrutiny forward work programme, are we happy to accept and agree those items set out within those papers, colleagues? Are there any questions? Our online has just gone from me, but I can see my colleagues behind me, so just bear with me in case they do wish to indicate to speak. I can't see that anybody's indicated to speak. Any observations on this item? Hannah?
Sorry, I put my hand up by mistake. Old habits die hard.
That's all right, don't worry.
I wanted to question, you've mentioned there's going to be a workshop on team around the school. Would it be possible if that would be an item that could have further discussion and a report regarding that? Because obviously it's linked to sort of school categorisation with Estin and different things. So I'm keen to learn more about that, and I don't know whether a report would be beneficial before the workshop or vice versa. And I'm also wondering, I know we did a substantial amount of work with the PRU a couple of years ago, whether there could be some sort of follow-up with, I think they're out of an Estin category now, aren't they? So I'd be keen to know how they're doing and what's going on with them as well.
Yeah, Hannah, no problem at all. I've made a note about having a report, and prior to any workshop, it's useful for us to have that information anyway, especially for some of our newer members. So yeah, absolutely. With regards to the PRU, we did a fantastic site visit there back in the autumn, which was really good. That was in the midst of them having that review then, that Estin review. So I'm sure they would be more than happy to give us an update. Could even be an information report, but yeah, I'll follow that up post this meeting.
Thanks, Lisa.
No problem at all. Okay, I can't see that anybody else has indicated to speak. So in that case, can I just ensure that we have all accepted the recommendations in 2.1 and agree the items set out in the FWP? Yeah, I can see some nods, happy with some nods. Great, nice to see some nods and smiling faces. Okie doke. Okay, just bear with me as I go back to the rest of the agenda then. Item number 8 is scrutiny referrals, and this is what I meant about the FWP being a live document. Sometimes we have public referrals, or there could really be something, again, from Welsh Government or in the media that, you know, needs scrutiny that we may pick up on, or an officer may pick up on, and that will come in as a referral. But I haven't got any as of today. Okay. Agenda item 9, feedback on scrutiny activities. Well, we're into our new annual year now, so I haven't got any activities to update you on at this point in time, but inevitably as we move forward, we will have feedback on workshops, task and finish groups, inquiry days, etc. Agenda item number 10 at this point, just to make sure that we've done the formal aspect of this meeting, is any other business deemed urgent by myself. I haven't got any other urgent business. I was aware today that there's some changes in our community focused schools programme. So I know that an email has been sent in just for us as a scrutiny to have a further update on that. Okay, colleagues, I'll leave it at that at the moment, but we'll pick up on that just with regards to some of the work that we'd been doing as a scrutiny last year on that. Okay, so in that case, we will then call this part of the meeting to a close. We'll just take a little breather to make sure systems are all okay and we're all sort of happy with where we are regarding the systems in the chamber and have a little bit of feedback. And then we're going to move into committee room 1 to have the second half of our scrutiny meeting today, and that is a workshop on the new education strategic plan. Okay, diolch. Thanks all.